Welcome to the Ancient Way. I'm James.
I'm Marlia.
You know.
Both James and I are a little sideways today.
Yeah, this morning was pitiful at the Hardin residence. We all woke up at 6. I didn't get up, but we were all awake. All three of us coughing. And Kyla was she would sit up and exaggerated, she wanted to cough everything up.
Oh, yeah.
This leads me into my first thought that I wrote down yesterday.
Bexley's trying to be sick with me.
Oh,
She's been real sweet. She'll come and kiss me on my forehead. She goes, Mommy's sick.
Oh.
And then she'll go,
yeah.
BB's sick too. I was like, you got compassion, kid.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, it's hysterical to watch her emulate or try and mimic me.
Yeah, that is funny.
What's your first thought?
Well, my first thought, and I don't remember who it was. Golly, I had an experience with somewhere at some point this week. And I think it was with a Christian, or I saw a video or something. And I've always thought Christians appear to be the most brittle people when it comes to, like, if you drop a truth bomb or something.
Oh, yeah.
You totally mess somebody up. Just like traumatize a Christian, you know?
That happened to me this week.
Okay, well.
On accident.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm not talking about, like, legitimately. I'm talking about religious people who are afraid to step out of the box, who are boxed in.
Yes. You're describing my situation.
You need to chill out on yourself. No. But the good thing is, I think we're supposed to be the most resilient.
Yeah. Unoffendable.
Unoffendable, resilient people in the earth. Yeah,
why wouldn't we be?
Yeah,
God is.
Yes, exactly. I was just thinking about that. And I think we really are supposed to be, and not like a fake version of it, not like I'm supposed to be this, so I better act like it.
Oh, yeah.
Genuine peace, genuine belief and stability. We're supposed to be that. Anyways, with that being said.
It's fascinating. Let me tell you my story that happened this week.
Yes.
On that note. So, I will listen to people when they want to talk about conspiracy theories.
Uh-huh.
And I will listen to people who, get into this white hats, black hats, red. I don't know the hats, to be honest. But this talk and about Donald Trump and all this, whatever. I'll listen to it. But I draw a line.
Okay.
When people start saying that God is condemning the pastors for not preaching the truth.
Okay.
He's disappointed. That was the language. God is disappointed in people. When you start talking about God, my line is drawn. Yeah. Because I'm like, you do not defame his name.
Yeah.
I know that sounds...
Take his name in vain, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that is. You're misrepresenting him.
That is definitely taking his name in vain.
Oh, yeah.
And I have been told I'm working on my gentleness. I think I'm gentle when I do these things. Okay. I really do. But I just point blank said, without fluff or whatever, I just said, well, hey, how does God being disappointed in people showcase unconditional love? How are those two combined?
Yeah.
Because he was saying, basically, God is disappointed in these people and they're going to go to hell.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah, right.
And so I was like, well, what does that look like? And you would have thought cover your children. I murdered his kids in front of him.
Wait a minute. You said this to someone?
I said this to someone because he was going on and on about how God was disappointed in pastors for not speaking up. And, God is angry with how we've
let this happen, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, like America not
Yeah.
arising to just political crap.
Yeah.
It was all political. It was all about what's happening and what happened and stolen election and like,
Of course.
and how God is disappointed because the pastors aren't stepping up into that
Yeah.
to preach about how Trump is the leader in restoring the free world. And it's like, God created the world. He didn't just create USA, dude.
I know. Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
he cares about people in China just as much as he cares about people in America.
Yeah.
Because they're people.
Yeah. And you're just as powerful as Donald Trump is.
Real talk.
Everyone is, yeah.
But it won't, like when you start trying to attribute God in those, it just, because my greatest like the thing that burns like passion in me is for people to behold his love.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
I want people to know his love. I want to know who he is. I've encountered it.
Yeah.
I continually encounter it. I encounter it deeper. Like, I mean, it's like, dude, once you see him and feel him and know the love, it's like,
yep.
Please don't do that to my dad.
Yeah.
Wrong guy.
Right.
Anyways, but I did that. You thought I'd kill this kid in front of him.
Yeah. Well, that's what it feels like.
And it's
been so intertwined.
Yes.
It really has.
He couldn't say anything else to me.
Yeah.
He got up and walked out. And I was just like, dang, dude.
Yeah. Well,
that's a bummer. It's a bummer when you so attach yourself to an idea or an ideology or a doctrine that is not Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's all it is.
Yeah, and it's mixed. They'll it's been taken and mixed together and called one thing.
That's like, I think we should put every doctrine, we should put every theology, we should put everything that we believe, we should put it on the table. We should put it on the altar.
Take every idea, every ideal captive.
Yeah.
And submit it to him. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you put it on the altar and be like, hey, burn this thing if it's not real.
Absolutely.
Like, you put it on the all-consuming fire.
Yeah.
Because that's what he is. Like, and he's not an all-consuming fire that's vengeance.
Yeah.
And judgmental. He is passionate.
Yep.
He is a passionate God who, like, the favor and the fervor of his love is unmatched, man.
Absolutely.
Which is another thing I wanted to dive into of, like, putting doctrines on the table is hell.
Okay.
I want to circle all the way back to that.
Yeah, I'm down.
Because think about all of the different ideas, right? And you have to filter every idea or thought through the cross.
Yeah.
And his love. Because God is love. And I've been listening to somebody been talking about this, and I'm like, because, I've kept an open hand. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what it is. But the traditional, this is how I was raised. I want to know what you think.
Okay.
Or how you were raised in terms of hell.
Be happy to tell you.
But I was always raised to say, or to think, which that to me right there is like a ding, 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 ding. Yeah. You shouldn't be raised to think a certain way.
Yep.
You should be raised to experience God and let him teach you how to think.
Agreed. That's the point of it.
And how to question and how to learn, not what to learn.
Yep.
Anyways, but so going through this as a child, I realized it was get saved, admit that you're a sinner, that you're in need of a savior, so you don't go to eternal hell.
Yeah.
And burn in hell. Right?
Right.
Or to be tortured to death. Or to be or just tortured for eternity.
Yeah.
It wasn't just burning, it's going to be torturing.
The worst imaginable.
Oh yeah, I read this book called 23 Minutes in Hell. I highly tell people you should burn it, literally, if you see it. But it messed with me for so long.
Yeah.
Because I then responded to God out of fear.
Yeah, for sure.
Of like, don't let me get tortured. Please don't let me get tortured.
Yeah.
Like, basically, anything I literally perceived everything to be would be punishment.
Yep.
And so going through, and even like all the different scriptures, and we've talked about this multiple times here on the show. And what is hell? What does that look like?
Yeah.
But think about it. And this is first, go tell me, what was your experience like?
The same thing.
Literally.
Yeah, I never read that book, but it was, hell was always when you think of the gospel, I would think of hell and I would think of the rapture, the end times. When I would think of Jesus, God, the gospel, I don't know, sin, hell, rapture. That's the Trinity that's it.
That's the opposite Trinity.
Unfortunately.
Or the real Trinity, quote
and
unquote.
I'm caught in the middle of all of it. I've got all three of these things because he's going to come back any day, but I'm sinning. And if I have that sin when I die, I'm going to hell for an eternity. I'll be ripping my own skin off and it'll just grow back and there'll be fire and it's for eternity. The impossible hamster wheel. And that was my, I might have had like little pieces of God is love, or like, I remember when I played T-ball, I was about 5 or 6 and I remember being way out and I sucked at T-ball. I hit the ball one time and then I went and got it. But I remember being out in the field.
Good for you, James.
Yeah. I, kind of grasped it. But I remember being way out in the field and I was just sitting there not paying attention to the game, but I remember feeling like God was watching me and he was proud of me. So there are tiny little pieces of that, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Those moments felt separate from, what was being taught.
Yeah.
And what I had heard. And maybe a lot of it, maybe I was taught a lot of good things, but the ones that stuck with me, the ones that attached itself to my thought process was the hell, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sin, hell, rapture.
I think it, yeah.
And it's demonic. And let's have all this horrible stuff. Let's have fear and let's call it God. That'll change you.
Yeah.
And if you can't see that, why don't you step back and unwind and just look at it? Really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
If that does trigger you, sit back and open it up and really just be real honest and think about it.
Or like, why do you need people to go to hell for eternity?
Yeah, why
do you need that to be a theology?
Yeah. And is it hard to think or dream about that not being the case? Yeah. What if God wanted everybody to go to heaven? I mean, even the language of it is weird. What if God didn't want, can you think about that? Is that like crossing a boundary to think about that?
I know it says, right, so every knee will bow and every tongue will confess.
Yeah.
That Jesus Christ is Lord.
Yeah.
But the Lord wouldn't do anything out of coercion either.
Yeah, right.
Because he's not manipulative.
No.
So he's not going to make people think. This is where I believe, this is where I'm really coming to.
Yeah.
That the fire that everybody thinks that they've interpreted as eternal judgment.
The hellfire.
Yeah, I think it's the fire of God's love. I think it's him because he is the all-consuming fire. There's fire in his eyes.
Yeah.
And I think people will actually have the opportunity. It's the refining fire.
Yeah.
People either go through the refining fire here on the earth, or why does death create a limit?
Yeah, for sure.
Why are we stopped at choosing the refining fire?
Yeah.
Before death.
At the absence of a body.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what if they actually just enter in to the refining fire? And what if they took all of their judgments and their denial of the Lord and
you'd probably feel like that dude.
All of their pain.
That individual you talked to.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Yeah. So you'd actually have to go into the refining fire.
Yeah.
But here's the other deal. God is patient because love is patient.
Absolutely.
And you can't outmatch his patience.
Yeah.
And so what if people, when they die and they cross onto the other side, they get the opportunity to behold more of his love. And they get to be consumed into that.
Yeah.
And what if it may take them another 1,000 years?
Yeah.
But he's still patient. What if there's the restoration of all things?
Yeah.
Like, he is patient enough to let all the restoration work itself out with everybody.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I completely think so.
Why are we just one and done,
I know it. And every knee will bow. This is just me. I just believe this. I think everybody alive or on the other side will meet him face to face, and we'll be introduced to him and see him fully. And they'll have a decision. I guess that's what it would be. But I mean, I don't think anybody could. How could you meet this God? How could you meet him? How could you meet Jesus fully and not fall for him? I don't know. I think everybody's going to meet him.
I think everybody's going to get the opportunity to be enveloped in his love.
Yeah.
And if they're not, and they choose not to be enveloped in his love, because I still think we still have free choice, right? Yeah. I think he's so long suffering.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He's proven that
he'll do it for another 1,000 years.
100%. Yeah.
Because I don't know, this is just my viewpoint now of the afterlife, and I'm open for even this to change, but this feels so in alignment with this person.
Yep.
I think even the demons will actually be able to come back into restoration and alignment.
Yeah. Yep. Open up to that. Think about that. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're vile and they hate humanity and they're definitely divisive and they carry some horrendous fruit.
Absolutely.
But why not believe for the restoration of all things?
Of all things, yep.
Why not hope for all things?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what our dad's doing.
Yep. I know it. I agree.
So what if it's not just this place? I mean, do I think that there's going to be consequences for the choices that people make? Probably.
Yeah.
But I also think there's consequences in this domain.
Yeah.
Like if you cut yourself, you're going to bleed.
Uh-huh.
It's a cause and effect.
Yeah.
I don't think it's punishment at all.
Right. I don't either.
But
I don't think anything is punishment on his behalf, ever.
No.
Nothing.
No.
He's not a punisher.
I don't even think he's disappointed in people. I really don't.
I don't either. I think it's the same thing with the Roman soldiers beating him, ripping his beard out. It's like they don't know. I think that's what it is.
I think he gets pumped because more love gets released.
Yeah.
Just like my dream, man.
Yeah.
I was like, our view of him is small.
Yeah, it is.
Even anybody that thinks they've got a great view of him.
Yeah.
It's small.
Yeah. I know it.
So small. But it's so sweet, man.
Like, that is.
So if he, right, he is the happiest man, right? Because he has the oil of gladness far above all his brethren. So the dude is happy. Jesus is happy. If you think about hell, why would God be happy that people are going to hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
Not when they've been created in his image.
Yeah.
That would be like if you have children, you're like, oh, I'm glad he's going to hell. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, okay, whoever's listening to this, if you're a parent, put yourself in his shoes, put yourself in his position. You're going to say, well, if they don't do what I say, or if they don't change, let me go pick up my child and go toss them in a pit of fire forever.
Yeah.
You think he's going to do that? It's like if your earthly father can give you good gifts, how much more him? You think could you picture him doing that? Like,
yeah, it's
insane to see that, or that we maybe subconsciously think that of him, and it's sad.
Yeah, man.
It's not him. Not him.
I've definitely had some of my grids getting a little shook
Me too.
Lately.
Me too.
That's like
I had Oh yeah. Well, we got somebody to talk to about all that stuff next week.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. Because my grids got a little knocked around the other day.
Are you ready for this? I wrote this quote from somebody. I won't say who.
Okay.
Tune in next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then you'll know. But it was brilliant. He was talking about the darkness that's within people, or the darkness around people.
Okay.
And darkness is just spaces that don't know God.
Yeah. Yep.
So even things within you that feel darkened or there's not clarity.
Not occupied by light.
Well, you just haven't known God in that space yet.
Right.
You haven't known God in your identity.
Yeah.
For people who struggle with anxiety or ADD or ADHD, it's like, yo, know God in that space.
Yep.
Know God in your depression. Like really, like know him there.
Yeah.
And see what that looks like. And I feel like healing happens when you invite him into that space. Because that's what Jesus did. I believe this. When Jesus walked the earth, he showed us what life looked like in union with the Father. What it was to live in one accord.
Yeah.
And so he invited him in every space. And I think that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, it is.
Like, and by supposed to do, I mean, it's our privilege. It's like what we're created for.
Yeah. Yeah. To invite light into the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because darkness gets shredded.
Yeah.
When light steps in.
Can't be there, yeah.
It can't be. It's like the veil of darkness gets ripped.
And
it's just, I don't know, I just started seeing it as like all of these spaces that you even say like, oh, well, I'm like this or I'm like that. It's like, even that is holding an identity. So know God in that.
Yeah.
Because then you won't be held to that identity anymore. You'll see him.
Yeah.
And I think practically what that looks like to some degree is ask, like, I don't know, I talk to people all day long who have like a bazillion conditions, right? So my mind sometimes thinks this way. But like, I'm just going to use an example. I'm a type A type person. I'm a real high driver, right?
I've heard that 5 times this week. What is type A?
It's just somebody,
just real quick.
Somebody that's really organized, like kind of a go-getter, quote unquote. Typically they're really organized, very strong personality.
I've been hearing that all week, and everybody's like, I'm a type A, and I'm not going to think about it too much. Thank you for clarifying that.
It's OCD, quote unquote.
Okay.
All of these labels. Are you ready?
Continue. I'm sorry. Been hearing it all week.
Right. So if you claim to be, well, I'm just type A. I'm like, I like to be organized. I like to be on top of stuff. Miscommunication really bothers me.
Sure.
Right. I've heard that. It's fascinating thought, right?
Okay.
But you've attached yourself to a label.
It's true.
And what if that's just your wounded type A?
Yeah.
Because you don't feel significant in resting.
Yeah. What if that's a handicap to you?
Literally. What if that's your handicap?
Yep.
But because you haven't known God in that, you just assume that that's how you are.
Yep.
That's just what I have to take on.
Yeah.
You haven't known him in that. You're capping yourself.
Yeah.
You're not letting light invade. That's actually a dark space within you. And I'm not saying, oh, you're carrying darkness, quote unquote. You know what I mean? I'm talking like that's a place that hasn't been fully illuminated.
By him yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think to some degree we all are.
Yeah.
We're all walking in more and more and more light.
Yep.
I think it's an always evolving.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There was just that question of like, what area or space have I not known God yet in my life?
Yeah.
But to like really get into that, because I think that there's a level of depth that is waiting for us, right? We can take things just surface level, or we can dive in more.
Yeah.
And I think diving in more is asking harder questions.
Yeah, I think so too. And
going in and asking him, not just self, what do you think? But like actually asking him, what do you think about hell?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
No, I understand. Yeah, for sure. I've always felt that way. This has been the theme, what we're talking about for me. I've always thought that way about hell, like growing up and stuff. It always felt wrong. It felt deeply wrong. And even the end time stuff and the rapture stuff. But I just took it as truth. I just accepted it. And it wasn't until I actually pursued him and asked him everything that I was able to look at those things and challenge them, hold them up to him, and even ask him, like, what's the deal with these? I really would like to know the truth in it. But recently I've had the same thing from a similar person about the Bible, just some things he said about the Bible. We'll bring that up later on. But it was another one, and it was a real subtle, I don't want to say a lie. It wasn't exactly the truth fully, what was said. And it made me think. I remember I heard a phrase, and then it kind of shocked me a little bit, and I had to think about it because it challenged what I have been told, and even what I've been taught to read it, the way to read it, and everything. It was so in there, like the fine print. But he's even gunning for that little stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so I sat back. I remember I went and worked in arts and crafts while I thought about it. Like, let's get to the bottom of this. And I just asked him about it. That night I laid in bed and said, Is that true? Like, is this little way that I've been seeing it not completely right? And I felt some confirmation from, like, yeah. But it was so gentle. It was almost like, yeah, you're on the right little trail there.
Yeah.
And it's something that maybe if it had happened a couple weeks ago or a year ago, it might have really, really messed me up or something.
Yeah.
Just because it's so ingrained, or something that you immediately shut off from, like, oh, that's wrong, can't hear that. Which I'm really not that way with a lot of stuff. This one kind of was like, whoa, really? But it's good. And it feels like, I see a picture to describe the feeling. It feels like sailboats leaving the shore. Feels like something new. Separation, not from truth, but just
well, Jesus is truth.
That's true.
And I think if you have your foundation on anything but Jesus, the Word Himself, then you've created a false foundation.
Right. Yeah. And that can be anything else.
Anything else.
We'll cover that next week. But
sorry.
No.
Oh, the sickness is getting us.
Yeah. We're resilient though. We're here.
I'll tell you what. I am ready.
Yeah.
To be in that state.
Yeah.
But I will obtain this in my lifetime.
Absolutely.
Suckers think they got me. Not this time.
Oh, yeah. All the setbacks I had this morning.
That was wild.
Well, it's just like, it's all little things, but it felt like little obstacles. It felt like Mario breaking bricks this morning.
Listen, with as much stuff as happened, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And mine are, so small compared to y'all's.
Here's the thing,
compared to y'all's.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. You got me there.
I think it robs you of the joy of this moment that you could have.
Yeah.
In overcoming obstacles.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate, so the obstacles that happened this morning and yesterday, I appreciate them. Because it's just, we're resilient. Okay. Yeah. Just little things.
You just take them in waves.
Coffee pots broke. Cars broke. Shower door fell off this morning. And then there was a homeless guy asleep in front of the door at work this morning. Which that's pretty rare. It's happened twice in 2 years. Right smack dab in front of the door. After all this stuff, I'm like, all right, when I get off work after this whole thing today, I'm going to fix my car and fix the coffee pot or buy a new one, fix the door. Just little stuff. And I pull up and like, oh man, there's one of them. Here's another one. Literally an obstacle between me and the door. Golly. So I woke him up. It's awkward waking grown-ups up.
Yeah.
But,
I have to do it a lot. It's very weird.
Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah, because on the Rife machine, everybody falls asleep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I guess it just lulls them to sleep.
Do you ever have anybody just jump up like startled or?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
I've walked in on too many things.
Oh, man. Well, have you ever like woken up and you're like, for a split second, you don't know where you're at?
Yeah.
You ever had that? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it happens to every single person
That's
that I
funny.
walk into.
One time I was at a friend's house. I went to Iowa for Thanksgiving at their family's. It was just a whole nother. Anyways, we slept in the basement and I had an air mattress. And I woke up that morning and there was just like this sliver of light. And I felt like I was being choked out, and it had deflated, and I was inside the air mattress, and there was just like this little crack of light. And it was a little bit shocking to wake up in that.
Did you think you'd been taken?
I thought I was in hell.
Is this what hell is like?
Yeah. Am I in hell? Yeah. Anyway, the obstacles are fun.
They really are.
I woke him up. I said, hey, man, you can't be sleeping here. There's people come through here. He was real nice at first.
It was because he didn't know where he was at.
Probably. And, I do have compassion for people. I really do. Even if they, some of them will take advantage of you, and, you just have to got to be led into things,
Mm-hmm.
But, and I talk to them as they're getting up. I'll make small talk with them just to let them know they're people.
Yeah, for sure.
And
then didn't he run off like cussing you?
I don't know if he was specifically cussing me. He was not happy that he was in Tyler for some reason. He was cool with me and polite. Then I went inside. 5 minutes later, he's out in the street, screaming. Well, then he came back. I didn't tell you that. He came back. I had a big meeting today. He came back during that, right as it was about to start, like came in the door.
No.
And I had to talk to him then. Once again, gentle as can be. He was calm as could be. And then when I was talking to him, I sent him on his way. Weird.
So weird.
But directional pointed. Whenever that little stuff starts happening, you're going in the right direction.
Oh, no
I
doubt.
think, so.
So I'm pretty sure none of my family listens to this. So I'm going to say something about my family.
Okay.
I thought it was funny. So with all my car and, the drama.
Yeah.
Literally it's a month to the day.
Yeah.
When all of the things first started unraveling.
Yeah.
But, which for all of our listeners, we're also moving now and it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So there's like so many things. But my family, I love them. I really do.
Yeah.
One of my brother-in-laws was like, for them being Christians, their life sure seems to be going like crap. He was like, do you think they're really Christians?
Yeah. Great.
Basically, like we were getting punished for something.
Yeah, for sure.
He was like, God's not really taking care of them. I was like, oh my God.
They must be living in sin.
Literally, it was that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
He didn't mean it in a...
Sure.
He just kind of popped off. But I laughed. I was like, of course.
Yeah.
I know people have those kind of judgments. Like if somebody's life is kind of unraveled, it's like, oh, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Not like, look at how the Lord's invading.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
Well, that reminds me too. No, and it's like the circumstances don't dictate God's, view towards you. Anyways.
Or even his favor on you.
Right. Yeah, not at all.
Like, there have been several people that have said this that I'm just like, I don't know if I can get behind it.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, God's promoting you and God's moving you. And it's like, I don't think promotion looks like that.
Yeah.
I don't think promotion looks the same way in the kingdom that we've claimed it does.
Yeah. It's true.
I mean, Jesus was promoted to the highest authority and the dude died.
Yeah. Right.
I think it's more about setting you up into the fullness of your person.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Like that's what quote unquote promotion is like, no, dude, you're expanding. Your person is expanding here.
Yeah.
Not like...
I think that's always the case.
You're running tiers.
Sure, yeah.
I think most of the time
climbing the ladder, yeah.
I think a lot of the time it is talked and interpreted like you're climbing a ladder.
Yep. That hierarchy, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what we're doing.
Right.
That's not even what promotion is in the kingdom.
Yeah.
By how thick your bank account is.
Yeah. And that's not
Like, oh, like you're prosperous. You really are following the Lord. That's great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, right.
You forgot.
Sure. Well, going back to the beginning of it, we're supposed to be the most resilient people. And what a strength and promotion that is.
For sure.
To gain that resilience. And I do think y'all are going to be extremely prosperous.
I feel like that's...
And it's like...
But that's a mute for me now at this point. Like even going through, like that's a mute point for me.
For sure.
Because it's like... I don't care.
Right.
Like that Philippians 4, I've learned the secret of what it is to be in abundance and in need. It's like, again, this is all a freaking charade here.
Yeah.
Like everything here is a freaking charade.
That's true.
Like, I want to walk in everything that the Lord has already ordained for me.
Yeah.
Period. Like that's where I'm at. Like whatever that looks like, however that shakes out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying for me, that's where I'm at currently. It's like
good. That's probably what's to be. It's probably your buffet right now.
Yeah, I know it is.
Good.
I feel like to look or to. This is the other thing I've kind of been on too. Is like to look or to meditate, to think about anything else. That's what's not right in front of you.
Yeah.
Is to leave that stuff on the plate.
Oh yeah.
You know, because you can kind of rabbit trail off into corners and just kind of jump around.
Yeah.
I think it's like extract everything.
Yeah.
But when I make that statement, sorry. What does it look like for you to extract everything, like in a lesson? How do you feel like you get the full measure of something?
I mean, I guess you could feel it in your person. Let me think of an example. I think you would just feel it in your person. The stuff that I don't extract the fullness on, it's like a mountain going around it over and over again.
What does that practically look like?
It usually I don't know what it looks like. Usually that kind of thing hits me, and it hits me, and I know there's something to be had in it, and I don't always know what it is, but I begin to see it, spot it. And I would say it usually results in me giving something up. It usually results in me surrendering something. And then another sign that I have fully eaten something usually results in relationships or promotion in the physical here, or a change or something, usually. So, I don't know. Does that make sense? Is that okay enough? Okay.
I was really just asking. I was curious.
Good question. What does that look like practically? And those mountain circles have happened with a few different things. So thinking back on it, a lot of it is releasing, letting go of things.
Yeah.
Is the secret to it.
I love that. I think that's a massive secret for me.
Well, it's like what you're saying here, like let go of the prosperity and these things. Like I don't need any of those things.
Totally.
I need to let go of those things and just be with him.
Yeah. And enjoy.
And be with him until that is a part of your person and solidified.
Yeah.
And then you have that.
I think it looks like when your entire life is consumed in peace and joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
In every area, in every sphere. Like.
Yeah, until it's unconditional, completely unconditional.
Everything in your person is unconditional.
Yeah, right. That's it.
That's the process we're on, I think.
I think so too.
But I love what you said about going around the mountain. Because I think this is what this process for me looks like. Is like practically, it's always very similar. The first step, I start to become aware of it.
Yeah.
I think that the Lord bringing so many tests, very similar in nature.
Yeah.
I think when you can start to spot the trends of what's being addressed, that's like the first step.
Yep.
You don't need to get to the root on the first step.
Right. And if you can't, you don't beat yourself up over it.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
Like the point isn't getting into the root.
Yeah.
The point is to connect to Him in that thing.
As He brings it into focus.
Yes. And then as you become aware of it, you connect to Him in it.
Yep.
And then as it goes a little bit deeper, because now you're starting to have more experiences in these same kind of situations that happen.
Yeah.
So then you go a little bit deeper. And then typically for me, like the first deal is like awareness. It's like, okay, now I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, let's practice this. Let's practice connecting.
Yep.
Let's practice releasing.
Yeah.
Not just releasing and surrendering things to the Lord, yes, but also practice surrendering and releasing to people in the midst of it.
Yeah.
Because normally if you're getting triggered or something's getting sifted off, people want to retreat and withdraw and not release life.
Yep.
They become very self-centered. And then the last thing, I feel a physical shift in my body. I feel lighter.
Okay.
And normally my brain feels clearer.
Yeah.
I can actually feel like something just got dropped off. Like if I had been carrying a backpack and it releases, that's what it feels like when the thing is finally gone.
Mm-hmm.
But that, for me, that's what that practically looks like. But I think that when you start to notice so many similar situations, like, oh, this thing came up again. Oh, this thing came up again. Like, I think you can either look at it with such criticism, like, oh my gosh, this thing keeps coming up.
Yeah.
Or you can see even yourself with gentleness.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, look, we get to do this again.
Uh-huh.
Like I watched Bexley today. We went to the kids park, the children's park.
Yeah.
The joy that she had in repeating the same thing over and over and over was mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
I actually had the thought when she was climbing, so she climbs up these rocks by this waterfall, and then she climbs down. We have to come all the way down. We jump off to the very end.
Yep.
She turns around, she goes, again.
Oh, yeah.
And I started thinking, I was like, look at the repetition and joy.
Yeah.
I was like, what if we all started taking all of our trials with that kind of excitement?
Yeah. Right.
Like, ooh, repetition.
Yep.
Again.
Yeah.
And
till you master it.
Till we master it. But she found new ways up.
Uh-huh.
Right? So she was going at it. She would go up one and then she'd like find another little like sidestep and come at it from a different angle.
Every angle. Yeah.
And it's like, man, that is literally what the Lord does.
Yeah, it is.
She just has childlike joy in it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what we can take into all these things.
Yeah, it is.
That's it. It's like, if things are being repetitious and coming up and coming up and coming up.
Yeah.
Like, choose joy in it.
Yeah.
Meaning like, get excited. Even if you don't feel excited yet.
Yeah.
Put your focus on excitement.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it unlocks something.
Yeah.
And I know
at least know it's in the crosshairs. When it comes up like that and you become more aware of it, know that He's going for it.
Well, yeah, because otherwise...
this is what we're tackling. Here we go.
If you weren't aware of it, you couldn't release it. Anyways, I was pretty excited about all that. Kind of just even the things that are unraveling.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good.
Yeah. Do you got anything? I talked basically 78% of the time.
That's good. No. Nope. I'm good.
It's like I can't get a good cough because every time I cough, my head hurts.
Oh, yeah. I had the cough a little bit. Mine's nasally.
Mine is definitely my throat.
Yeah.
Zach wouldn't even sleep with me last night.
Yeah.
He had to go sleep on the couch because I kept him up the night before coughing so hard.
Yeah.
He was like, please go away.
Yeah. Yep. It happens, I guess.
I can't blame him. He had to work today.
Yeah, it was raining and stuff too.
Yeah, but they worked this morning.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, they're like the wilderness men.
They are.
They like to get out in the nappy rain.
Yeah.
And cold. I was like,
the elements.
For real.
Yeah. Well, good.
I really want to open a business called The Elements.
Don't tell anybody yet.
I didn't say what kind of business.
Well, the name is cool.
Well, I already have an idea about the business.
Okay. Well, that's good. All right. Is there anything else? We got a double feature next week. Feature involved. Never mind. Not a feature. It's a podcast. We got 2 guests coming up back to back.
Pretty pumped about them.
Yeah, me too. 2 totally different.
Wildly different.
Totally different people. But that's good.
Oh, yeah. Hey, also, if y'all have anybody that you think would be good as a guest, will you reach out to us? You can send us an email at theancientwaypodcast@gmail.com. We love inquiries. We love suggestions.
Oh, yeah.
Also, just because you suggest it doesn't always mean that we're going to bring them on. But,
yeah.
Because that's happened.
Yeah. Yeah, but do that if you got anybody in mind. It's fun. I think we've gotten pretty good at talking to people.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun. I think they feel comfortable. I would hope.
I think the last podcast that we did, that guy really liked it.
I think so. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it doesn't take long for people to realize they're safe, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, if two little hooligans invited me somewhere, I'd kind of go in a little, you know, they're going to try to corner me or... And then once you record it, like those little hooligans have my, you know, if I messed up or if I said the wrong thing, they've got it and they can release it to the world.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate when people just come on.
I think it'd be fun to have that last guest that we had on the other podcast to come on this one.
That would be an interesting one, yeah. He'd probably do it.
It'd be interesting.
It would be interesting. Well, yeah, we might do it. Might run it by him next time.
See what he thinks.
Yeah.
His poor brain.
Yeah, I know it.
Might be broken.
I know it.
All right, guys.
All right, y'all.
We'll see y'all next time.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Ancient Way podcast, drop us a like, share with your friends, share with your family. And if you'd like to support us and what we are doing, and you would like to play a direct role in our growth and things that we do in the future,
we have a donation spot at the bottom of our show notes. So you can click on that, give however much you want. We appreciate absolutely everything. We appreciate our listeners. And everybody that's already come alongside and encouraged us, and even everybody that's been on our show. So thanks, guys.